So guys, I thought I'd just show you what I've been up to. I've been cutting down some of this tree. Thought I'd show you where we're at with it. So essentially that's where I'm at. I've got about maybe a quarter cut down, but hopefully this will stop a lot of the crap getting into the pond. I still need to do some work with the pond at the moment, so I'm going to do a bit of a water change because I need to fix the pipe work here. Right, so I just need to fix the hash that I've done with this pipe work here. Basically the fitting wasn't that watertight. I must have glued it wrong at some point and this needs to be completely gutted out. Unfortunately, I've had a bit of a hard problem fitting it back on there because I've had to sand it down, but I've sanded quite a bit of the actual original pipework off, so we need to completely gut this and replace it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this off and just put a new tank connector on and redo it. So that's what we're going to do next. Right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is where we're at with the tree today. I didn't really want to cut down the tree, guys, you know, but it's just becoming too much of a mess here, and I'm just getting rid of it, really. Take 3. So that's the stump, guys. Taking a bit of effort, this is, especially when you're using a handsaw, but we're getting there. Thought I'd just show you my update, my progress. So see you later, I guess. So there must be about half a ton of branches, leaves and offcuts, so I just need to get rid of this lot. Right guys, I thought I'd just show you the skimmer again. So as you may know, the Cottony Koi wide mouth skimmer comes in 2 parts, and if the middle area, I think it's about, is it 8 inch across or something like that, the small area here. Now if you've got any silicone that's loose on there, that's not sealing it, like I've just pulled off here, that's where my leak was coming from. So ironically, doing the whole thing again, where we could have just siliconed the internal element here. So what we need to do is take all the silicone off on the internal bit here, silicone that in again, and that should prevent my leak. Because I was wondering, why aren't I getting any water going down the other side of the liner where a lot of the foam is? And if you check out my other videos, you'll see how I built this. And behind the liner is some XPS foam to insulate the pond a little bit, and as you can see in here, we need to silicone on the inside as well as the outside. So if I put a bit of silicone around that area there, that should seal it up. I'll also give the screws a little bit of a tightening. Obviously you can see I've got 4 screws, 2 there and 2 on the other side there. So we give those a bit of a tight up, put some silicone on, and then hopefully we should have a sealed skimmer, providing there's no cracks in the skimmer. So in the light of day, can see where I'm at and my progress so far. I must admit, it's looking quite bare over here now. Right guys, I thought I'd do another update on the pond. As you can see, water level has dramatically dropped. I've lost about 10 centimetres of water, and I believe the culprit is this. But the silicone is peeling away and it's probably leaking there at somewhere. It's hard to tell, but I can see it's sort of damp at the bottom there. As you can see, can't tell 100% because it's been raining, but I think we've come to the conclusion that I'm going to have to get a new liner and to fix this problem, and probably a new skimmer for that matter. And what I'm going to do is get rid of the waste pipe that I've put there and put some pressure pipe in. Sometimes you need to change things. Also, I want to point out here, I've been having problems with the retro bottom drain, the pump outlet. That's the pump outlet, and the water has a hard time getting up there. So what I might do is drill a hole a bit lower down so the pressure will force the water into the pump that we've got over there. Got an Aqua Evolution pump, as you can see over there, and it's not pulling the water. The only time it pulls the water is when the water level reaches that pump outlet there. So I need to change that. But I'll give you another look in the daylight what I've done over here with the big tree. As you can see, it's gone. I'm just in the process of cutting this stump down. Having a hard time doing that, but that's where I've got at the moment. It's a bit of a massive job this, but it needs to be done. Once I've got this all tidied up, I'm going to stop getting crap going into the pond here, and I'll stop getting crap going into the pond, and I won't have to have these nets on. I'm not too bothered about the trees over here because they're away from obviously the ponds. It's not too much of a big deal them being over here. I've never had an issue really with the leaves getting from these trees over to the ponds. So, lesson learned, guys. If you're having a lot of problems with leaves, there's only one answer: cut the tree down. I appreciate that's not always possible. These fern trees are extremely a horrible thing to deal with. Look at the mess. We've got the mess here that's accumulated over time. You know, I had to put concrete all the way along the border here and around so I could sweep the crap up. I used to have lots of pebbles. If you look at my older videos, you'll see that I had some gravel there. But the fern tree just leaves so much mess in between the rocks. I just had to get rid of them. And as you can see, it's a massive job. So that's where I'm at the moment. Again, we're going to have to fix the pond a bit more. What I'm thinking about though, and maybe you guys can tell me what you think. I'm thinking of possibly making it a bit wider. Obviously there's a bit of an area here where the fish are, but I could potentially make it square. I'm not sure what I would do with the stones and the plants, how I would work this out, I don't know. But let me know what would you do in this circumstance. So I'm going to get a brand new liner. It's probably going to cost me about 300 quid. Something that's going to fit this area. I also know you need to modify and fix the filter a little bit. That's a little job, it's not a big deal. But the main lesson here is if you want pipe to last, use pressure pipe, and that's what I'm going to be using. So again, ladies and gentlemen. Right guys, thank you for coming to the Yorkshire Car YouTube channel. I do appreciate it, and those that you have subscribed recently, welcome. Obviously I do have other YouTube channels. There's my Canon Lenses and the Cameras YouTube channel, which has got nearly 2,500 subscribers. Great, thank you for everyone who's been subscribing to that channel. I've got another YouTube channel called Technology Advisor 1, which is more a technology gadget type channel. Over 3,000 subscribers on there. Go and check that out if you would like to. I'll put links in the description to all my YouTube channels if you'd like to go and have a look. Anyway, I've been thinking that the crease is causing the leaking problem. Also, the gaskets in the Cottony Coy skimmer are not in great shape. They're well known for failing over a period of time, so I've decided reluctantly that I'm going to rip out the Cottony Coy skimmer and put a new one in. And I'm also going to upgrade the pond. Now what I'm going to do is dig it out a little bit and potentially make it wider and maybe get rid of some of the shelving area that I've got on there, which are just basically on top of flags, and cut them out a little bit and make it a tiny bit wider in the end part of the pond. Let me know if you think that's a good idea, or would you keep all the shelves for the plants. I didn't want to, I'm in two mindsets here, whether to get rid of the shelves completely and obviously make the pond wider, but obviously you need a place for your plants to sit on, so it's sort of 50-50 there. So anyone who's got any thoughts, let me know what you would do. There's a lot of debate in the koi community, and there's a lot of nastiness that can go around, and it's regarding whether you should have a bare pond with nothing in it versus having a pond, you know, a natural type of pond with stones, rocks, plants in it. Now I'm in the mindset that it would be very, very boring to live in an empty room, and that's where I approach it. You need something to keep your fish entertained, whether it's having a little bit of gravel that they can grab hold of or spit out, or some rocks they can scrape across, you know, or touch, or eat the algae that's growing on top of the rocks. I think you need something in your pond to keep your fish entertained. I think having a bare pond is going to be pretty boring for the fish in general. So I would highly recommend that you have something in your pond to keep them entertained. They do like to eat plants as well, you know. I've noticed that a lot when I put plants in. They do tend to get eaten quite often. So if you want to preserve your plants and they're not protected by gravel, you might want to have like a small pond that I've got over there. I've shown you it before in my previous videos, where it's just basically a wooden box with a plastic container, and I put all my plants in a separate like pond, a small square pond. So it's highly advisable you do that if you don't want your fish to eat your plants. So what am I going to do in this new pond? Now, they always say a pond enthusiast, or someone's into ponds or koi fish or goldfish, will have 3 ponds in their lifetime. You have a smallish one, a medium sized one, and then the biggest one you think you can put in your garden. And then essentially that's how people progress in their ponds. Obviously my case is slightly different. I've got a largish, medium sized sort of indoor pond in the conservatory, a small one over there near the wall, and then my big koi pond, obviously my sleeper pond. I have thought about sort of taking down the sleeper pond completely and have an in-ground pond. Now I've got rid of that tree that was causing all the mess, but I might still keep the sleeper pond. It's an investment. I've already built it. It's established. It's got a roof. You know, it might just be worthwhile just keeping it as is. So what I'm thinking in terms of the upgrade, in terms of the pond construction, is I'm going to probably dig it out a bit, get a new liner, new skimmer box, because those gaskets do have a tendency to fail after a while. So I think maybe because the gaskets were a bit iffy when I looked at them, I thought it's probably a good idea just to get a brand new skimmer and put that in. and I'm going to upgrade the pipework to pressure pipe. I'm also going to do something that I think it's the French Koi Connection YouTuber has done regarding putting rubber boots over the UV onto solid pipe, because I have noticed that when I've used flexi pipe on those hose tails, if you tighten them too tight they leak, if you tighten them too loose they leak. They're not that great. So I think what I'm going to do is get some rubber boots and put them over the top of the UV onto some solid pipe and tighten them up with Jubilee clips, and hopefully that should solve my problem of the leaking from the UV. It's been a headache non-stop, that UV that I've got, in terms of leaks. Constant leaks out of those hose tails all the time. I highly recommend, if you get any sort of UV unit, you know, UV sterilizer, and you've got it in your pond, that you use a solid connection if you can, or something like some rubber boots, something solid, rather than those hose tails. They're just not fantastic in terms of the rubber gaskets that they put on. It's like an O-ring that goes round, but once you tighten it too tight, the rubber O-ring it's round squishes down and it leaks, and if you don't tighten it enough you obviously get leaks as well. So that's what we're going to do. So basically I'm ripping out a lot of the bottom shelving, some of the soil, making it a bit deeper, a bit wider, and put some new piping in there. And one thing I have noticed that I've been having a problem with is the actual pipe work in regards to the external main pump, because the pipe work goes quite high up and then across through the sleepers. Sometimes, like when I turn it on, off and on, and there's not a lot of water in the pond, it just stops sucking water. It just refuses to suck water, and that's because the water's going up quite high and into the pump, and I think it's having a problem sucking it. So what I've decided what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to, well, get rid of that bit and make it lower, so the water goes through the sleepers at a lower level and gets to the pump easier, and hopefully I won't have a problem with that. I'm not sure, I don't think anyone else has been having issues like that. The Koi Connection, I remember her pipe work actually goes up and over the pipe, the sleepers, and down to the pump. Not sure why that would be the case, why hers would work and mine would not, properly anyway. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I'll just briefly show you what we're doing out there. So I'm going to make this area here wider and deeper. Take this EPDM liner out. We may be able to reuse that at a later point. Put a new Cottony Koi skimmer in, gut that, rip out that pipe work that we've got there, which is waste pipe, and replace that with pressure pipe. So go into the back. I'm in the process of getting rid of this stump, so we'll be ripping that out. We're going to do a bit of a change here where the pump is. I'm going to have a bit of pipe coming out like this, solid pipe directly to the actual pump, and then from the pump we'll have a piece of solid pipe that will go through here and attach to the actual Aqua Evolution UV, and I'll put some boots connected. So I'll put a boot on there connected to some solid pipe that will be running up here, and hopefully that should work properly then.